Welcome to the Dayton Business Spotlight, your source for what's now, what's new, and what's next in the Dayton business community. And now, here's your host, Phil Herzing.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of the Dayton Business Spotlight. You know, it's often said that small business is the lifeblood of just about every community, and I'm here with Pat Newcomb of the Small Business Development Center. And she's going to tell us a little bit about what she does and what the center does. Thanks for joining us, Pat.
Thank you, Phil.
Jump right in and do tell us.
Okay. As Phil said, I am the director of one small business development center in Dayton, Ohio. I'm one of 40 across the state of Ohio. And we are part of a national program that is funded in part by the Small Business Administration. And I'm very fortunate to be a tenant at the Entrepreneurs Center in Dayton.
So that's very interesting work with the small business community. Who are your primary customers? How do they get to you?
We primarily work with a small business, which can be everything from somebody who is exploring going into business for themselves for the first time, up to someone who has 300 or 400 people working for them. The SBA defines a small business as any business with fewer than 500 employees. So we work mostly, I think I like to describe what I do as working with closely held businesses.
Well, how do these folks find out about the work that you have to offer them?
Well, there are several different ways. Probably the best way is through the internet. If you put small business development and Dayton, Ohio, why you will come up with you'll find small business development centers. You'll certainly find the Small Business Administration. I'm very fortunate, to, as I say, to be here in the city of Dayton and to be at the Entrepreneurs Center, to be in a place that is a center for people that are trying to learn about business and to learn how to grow their business. And we're very focused on keeping businesses
in here,
in the Dayton area.
Absolutely. Well, now, one of the things that's kind of emerged as a theme in several of our other videos is how much business support there is for someone in the Dayton area who wants to run a business. Dayton is a good place to do business, isn't it? Tell me a little bit about your feeling.
I think Dayton's a great place to have an entrepreneurial company because of the community of support. We have universities and community colleges. We have local networks of chambers of commerce. We have networking groups, both private and public groups, networks of small business development centers and Ohio Department of Development support, international trade centers, procurement technical centers. The resources are enormous, and the challenge, I think, is finding your way through them, and the key for having being successful at this is knowing some members of that network, and that's what the SBDC does, is we're a core member of that network.
The way you describe it, you're such a good salesman for what you do. It sounds like it's almost easier to start a business in Dayton than not to start a business in Dayton. What do you like best about being here as a business person?
Well, what I like about Dayton is that it's big enough to be diverse and to be able to do a lot of different, to see a lot of different industries and to be involved in a lot of different types of enterprises, but it's still small enough that we know people. We can pick up the phone, we can call and get help. We know folks that are involved in important issues, and I don't think one can feel anonymous here. I think, this is a place where you can be known, you can make yourself known very easily from a marketing or a networking or a development point of view, and it's something that we can get our hands around. And yet Dayton is big enough and diverse enough to provide lots of opportunities and markets.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you're right here in the thick of that,
Well,
aren't
I'd like
you?
to think so.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much
You
for
bet.
joining us, Pat.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us for another edition of the Dayton Business Spotlight. You want to start a business? Come to Dayton. If you're in Dayton and you want to start a business, why don't you call some of the excellent resources that are right here? Dayton is a growing place, and it is an excellent place for you to pursue your dream. Thanks for joining us.